up, y'all? Welcome back to Faded Truth. Before you do anything, like, share, and subscribe. And today I have Mr. Gabriel Flores Jr. on the show. How you feeling over there?
Feeling great.
So, top-ranked boxer, pro boxer. What are we, 21-0 right now?
20-0 right now.
20-0. Okay, I thought the last one was 21.
We're not speaking into existence.
Okay.
We're going to be 21-0.
You got your gloves on.
Feeling great.
Let's see the ice there.
Yeah, little Joel. Well, this was my first piece ever that I got, and then this is one of my newer pieces. This one represents my city, Stockton, born and raised.
I'm looking at this pinky ring though. Like, what is this?
Yeah.
That should look like it's gonna hurt.
You gotta lick the part. You gotta lick the part. That's all it is. You guys see the camera right there? Make sure they can see it. It's the logo. On the top is my logo. Then on the side, we got my promotional company. And on the other side, my city, Stockton. I'm big on my city. I'm always repping wherever I'm at. And around my logo, it says all hustle, no luck.
Nice.
Not the bottom, that's my team name, G Squad.
Oh shit, you got that whole thing blinged up.
Oh, it's customized. You know what you do.
Okay, so you started boxing at age 7?
Age 7.
All right, I know you were watching your brother box as well growing up, and that kind of got you into thinking maybe I could fuck around with this? Or
Yeah, well, my dad trained my brother, and the other father trained his son. And so 2 weeks when it came by, and they fought each other with headgear and gloves, and then they went at it.
Was it in like a actual
backyard,
thing or backyard? Okay.
Just backyard, just the hood stuff.
I'm already picturing it.
And so they got into it, and my brother did pretty good. And my pop looked at my brother like, "Hey, you want to continue this?" I was like, "Yeah." And so that's how I started. And I was a little kid in the garage watching them, and I got interested. And ever since then, when I started fighting. I never looked back.
Were you a bad kid? Like, were you fighting kids regardless?
I was pretty hot-headed.
Because if you're starting boxing at 7, it's like you don't really get into like fighting until you're like, in your teens or early. So it's like at this point you already have hands.
Yeah, I mean, growing up in Stockton, you know, I mean, it's a tough city, like high gang activity, and it's a tough spot to be in, Northern California overall. So, yeah, I grew up pretty rough. So that's why boxing, I was just so attracted to it.
Right.
Fighting was just second nature. I mean, there'd be kids in the garage with gloves they found, and they'll be fighting with those. And they're not even a fan of boxing. They're just some badass kids always trying to fight. That's just how the city was. So I was brought up tough, for sure. But so when I saw boxing, I just got attached to it. But I was always raised around it. I was always raised around boxing. Right, because
your dad's a pro boxing coach? Can I call him that? Or how?
Yeah.
It's his title.
Yeah, now he is. But he was always
senior.
He was always a big fan. Pops was always a big fan of flying to Vegas to watch the fights.
Okay.
So it was always around me. My birthdays got cut short because there was fights at the house.
We used to watch them on like the black box. So like, the legal cable box.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So my dad was like, he had the bag in the garage, and he'd always make me hit when I was little, and then we'd have these fight parties every Friday, and like that's like my memories of boxing growing up. So now today, like I still box just for like cardio with like my friends who are in MMA or whatever, and they'll just hold mitts for me.
It's a great workout.
But I love it. Yeah, great workout. Yeah. Do you remember your first fight?
I do. My first sparring was in LA. My brother was sparring. This was before I asked my pops to box. My brother sparring and everything, and I asked my pops, "Hey, I want to get in there," and my pops just kind of like laughed at me, like nah, yeah, all right, because I never trained or nothing. It's just something I wanted to do real fast, and I was like, "Nah, for real, I want to get in the ring. I want to spar." He's like, "All right, let's see then." And like, "Oh, they don't got nobody for you. They don't got nobody your size or nothing." I was like, "All right, I don't care. I'll still fight." And he looked at, he said, "All right." So I went in with a kid like 3 years older than me, super heavier, old chunky. He whipped my ass. You
had heart though.
Yeah, and but my pop said that's what that stuck with him. Like he saw me, like I could take it, and I still was trying to fight back. And I told him I want to do it again, and so that's what stuck with him. So the heart, because that's something you really can't teach.
That's why I say you can't teach drive. You can't teach like hustle and this mentality of like wanting to like grind and put yourself in these positions a lot of people wouldn't, because that's how people get successful, is doing things that other people didn't do.
Yeah.
But it's hard to put yourself in that state if you didn't grow up in a state of like survival mode or trauma or have anything happen to you. Like people aren't like, they're not designed that way. You know what I mean? So.
Said perfectly.
Okay, so you were winning amateur fights at age 12. And then you had a 91-7 amateur record?
Yeah.
So you fought over 100 fights as an amateur?
Well, Yeah, I have some were counted, but all the ones on record I fought 98 times. But I fought more than 100 times, way more than 100 times. But a lot of people don't see that backstory, that background, the amateurs, because I mean they look at it like, whoa, this boy who just came on TV on ESPN like that. Me and Pops was traveling like 3 hours on school days, Salinas or Bakersfield and back. So that's 6 hours on the road there and back, and there was nobody else helping us paying gas, hotels sometimes, flights to Kansas City, because a lot of the big tournaments you had to go to were out of state, Kansas City and all that. So the hotels, rental cars. So there's so much me and Pops had to grind through.
Is there like a rank to like, all right, after you fight 50 amateur, now you can turn pro, or like how does it work?
I feel like you at least have to have 100.
Is there an age limit?
You start at 8. The youngest you can start is 8 years old.
As an amateur?
As an amateur.
Wow.
Yeah, but you could get in the ring and spar as young as anybody's watching you.
Right. As long as the babysitter lets you.
Yeah. But a lot of people, man, you'd be surprised they have like 300 amateur fights before they go pro. So 100 is pretty average. It's pretty average. So yeah, it says a lot, but I could have got a lot more in.
So some titles that you did win. We have the Junior Olympics, National Silver Gloves, Ringside World Championships. You were on the USA boxing team. Yeah. This is all as an amateur?
All as amateur.
Wow. And this is just you playing like 5 fights, or is it a tournament like a bracket?
It depends what tournament it is. Like Silver Gloves tournament, that was a bracket. It was a 4-month-long tournament. And that was the toughest one because you got to
4 months?
4 months.
What the fuck?
You got to hold that weight for all those 4 months. And I was a kid when I was doing that. So your body grew. So if your body grew and shit, you just got to make sure you find a way to make the weight. It was during the worst times possible. November through February. There's Thanksgiving, there's Christmas, New Year's,
holidays.
Easter, so they did it at the worst times possible.
That's crazy that you have that like dedication and like in your head mentally from such a young age. Because right now you're what, 21?
20.
20. You're not even 21 yet.
21 in May.
So when's your birthday?
May 1st.
Nice. Okay. Happy almost birthday. When you're 15, 16 and you're on a weight loss or a diet plan or a training, you know what I mean? Like kids just want to have fun and eat and like go out. So you had to be strict even like when you were hanging out with your friends and stuff, right?
Yeah. I mean, this boxing stuff, it took a lot away from my childhood even. A lot of way, but I always seen the big picture. I know what I wanted to be ever since I was a kid. People asked me what I wanted to be. They never got no other answer other than a boxer. So I always knew what I wanted, and I knew it wasn't going to be easy. So I know what I was getting myself into.
So when did you go to Russia? What was that?
I was 15 years old, 2015. I was in Russia for 17 days. It was crazy. A great experience, but I'm telling you, it was a world tournament. So I was out there with all the other countries around Russia. It was a world tournament. But let me tell you, they don't like United States. Nobody out there, they treat us like dirt. But yeah, when I was out there, man, I actually ate breakfast by myself one time because a lot of people, my team, they all eat together. And then what happened was there was something wrong with my fighting book. Everybody got a fighting book, but something was going wrong with mine. And so I ate later than everybody else's. And so I went in the breakfast room and ate by myself around all these countries. Everybody eats in the same room. And like when I walked in, it got dead silent, and I could feel everybody just staring at me. Like I had the tracksuit.
So you just repping your colors, and they're just like not about it.
Yeah. Oh, they hated it. They looked at me like the look on their faces. So yeah, I mean, we even almost got kicked off the bus to travel to the arena.
Wow.
Yeah. So
what was the outcome of that? Did you win that fight?
Well, it was 5 fights. It was a whole tournament. I went all the way to the finals, and I came up short. But it was a great experience. I mean, I felt like I won. A lot of people did. I mean, even like the government rushed, like they gave me flowers, apologizing and all that, because they thought I won the fight. But I wasn't. I look back on it, just a great experience. Because in the amateurs, you're going through all trial and fail. You know, you're trying your best to get ready for the pros, for the next step. The amateurs means a lot, but that's where you learn. That's where you want to make all your mistakes and all that.
So your pro debut, May 5th, 2017, right? You're 17 years old. In your pro debut. Yeah. What's the record for like the youngest pro boxer?
In Mexico, you could go pro at 15.
Okay.
So, but that's the thing. So a lot of people go pro early, right? I got signed at 16. I was signed, so I sat on the shelf because you got to be at least 17 to fight in Texas and Nevada. So I could have fought in Mexico and done all that, but people go there for a quick win. You don't even really get paid sometimes when you fight in Mexico. You pay to fight. So I didn't want to take that route. Not knocking anybody that did take that route. Everybody got a different path, but that wasn't mine. So, it was crazy. I fought in Reno, not too far from my hometown, Stockton, California. I was just so juiced. Like, a lot of people asked if I was nervous. I wasn't nervous at all. People ask why I'm not, but it's because I seen all this happen before. I envisioned everything I've done before I've done it. I always seen myself doing it. So I felt like I was made for this. I was born for this. So there's no reason to be nervous. I just enjoyed everyone. I mean, like, before the ring walk, people taking pictures of me right there before my fight.
Do you have a thing when you come out, like an entrance that you do?
Yeah, it's a song. I always have different songs and all that. But it was crazy. Like, everybody was around me before my ring walk and, like, taking pictures with me. And
you had the most tickets sold out of all the fighters there, right?
At
your pro?
By far. And
why do you think that you have that much support? Was it all family? Was it, like...
It's just Stockton by itself.
Okay, so the city came out to support you.
The city rocked with me hard. I always put my city on my back. And like I said, Stockton's a tough area. So when they see something good, they go behind it tough.
Right.
And they know the energy they put in me, I'm putting them.
So why did you come to Vegas?
For bigger and better things. I knew the bigger competition was coming, and I wanted to be ready for it before it even came. The people's mistake is they want to get ready for something when it's here. They don't want to prepare for it before it comes.
Right.
See, that's the thing. And we knew, like I said, this is my life. Boxing is what I do. So if I want to be the best, I got to make those sacrifices. I love to stay in Stockton where I'm comfortable with all my family and friends and all that. But I got to make the sacrifice to be here. And when I'm here, it's nothing but business. Like, a lot of people think I'm having a good time.
That's 'cause it's Vegas, yeah.
I'm eating at dinners, all that, you know. But I'm grinding over here. I'm making connections. I mean,
well, a lot of people come here with a purpose.
Yeah.
You know, like, I've talked to a lot of different creatives and athletes, artists, and people will literally move to Vegas for a bigger purpose. So it's like, once you get here, like, you're not fucking around, because some people have kids, some people have family back home. You know what I mean? People that they wouldn't leave otherwise unless they were here to complete this goal. I know you said your father was a boxing trainer, and he basically said that he bonded with you on this to keep you out of the streets.
Yeah.
So he grew up tough life, went to prison, decided this wasn't for him, and then kind of switched it around. And so he didn't want you to take the same path of the whole falling into the gangs and all that stuff. So, you know, basically your passion was good for him, because he's like, all right, this is easy. I know, you know what I mean? Like, I already know how to keep him grounded, right?
The chemistry was good. But it's just tough in city. It's so easy to get in trouble. You got to make sure you have some type of guidance, somebody around you to be straight. Because if you're not...
And that's a blessing, because most people don't have it, and that's why they end up in those situations, you know, because they don't have that support system. Educate your kids, bring up your kids right, and then they're going to change the world, because now they're going to teach.
The youth is the future.
Right.
Like, before all this COVID hit, I was in Stockton doing assemblies for kids, talking to them, trying to get in their head. Youth is the future. So I tell them about making the wrong decisions, thinking about goals, because those kids in Stockton, they think they don't got any chance. They feel like they're limitless and all that, but I'm here to show them that you can do whatever you want. It's just the odds are stacked against you, of course, but that don't mean you can't do it. So I was there just to tell them and show them, like, you got all the opportunities in the world. You just got to go out there and get it. Grind it, pray. Yeah.
So what do you think is the worst injury that you've caused somebody so far in the sport?
Just in sparring, I broke somebody's nose, and like I knew probably wouldn't have an insurance or anything like that, so I just offered one help him out. You know what I mean?
You broke his nose and then paid for it?
Yeah, I tried. He didn't let me.
Well, you know, of course he didn't let you. He prideful as shit. He's like, get away from me.
I've done that a couple times. So.
I'm sorry, I'll pay for it.
This shit is brutal. You know, I mean, and even growing up, like, I used to spar, and there's girls that always want to spar. I never
With you?
Yeah, and I never liked sparring girls. And one time I had no choice. We drove all the way to Fresno. There, our sparring canceled, and so I jumped in the ring with a girl, but I didn't throw one punch. I swear, I felt like, and then my pops was like, "Hey man, come on, you gotta do something." I'm not saying hit her hard, but you gotta do something. Like, and I threw one jab. I swear, one jab, and she just ran into it like crazy, and she started bleeding. I was like, oh, I felt like the worst human being alive at that point. And so,
you're like, see, this is why I didn't want to touch her.
Yeah, I knew something bad was gonna happen.
And what about you? What do you think is the worst injury you've gotten to yourself?
Man, I hurt my hand real bad in Russia. Real bad, where I had to see a doctor and all that. They tried to pop it back in place, but it was killing me. And I was fighting with it. Even when it hurt, I was still throwing it because that was my way to win. I was suffering while I was in Russia. It was throbbing, hurting. Even when they
Was
were
it like swollen when you're wrapping it?
Yeah, when they'll wrap it, it'll hurt. So I had to go through it. I had to try my best.
So I remember, like, in boxing, who got in trouble for putting the things in their gloves?
A few people.
Because they have to check them, right? Like,
yeah,
when you weigh in and all that.
When you get your hand wrapped in the dressing room, they watch you. The commission signs off on the wrap.
Okay.
They sign off on the glove. There's always ways around it, man. People do that. People do steroids. I mean.
So what's the drug policy in boxing? Do they test you every show or?
They test me every time I fight before I get in the ring.
Right before?
Once you get a world title and all that, they do random drug testing. Because you're playing with people's lives in there. It's dangerous enough already.
What's the biggest, I guess, risk with boxing? Is it that you're going to, like, get an aneurysm in your brain?
People
or like
died from
what's
this.
Yeah, like what happens? It's because you're hitting the temple? Like what happens?
I mean, your head's not made to be getting punched. Like this. All day, head snapping blows. And all this happens from sparring. I mean, like, sparring, there's no odds. It's just the coaches. And people be sparring people like 40, 50 pounds heavier than them. And just taking that ass whipping.
Right.
Boom, day after day, day after day. And it's just building up. All this doesn't happen off of one night. It builds up. And next thing you know, you go into a boxing fight with no headgear and all that, then boom.
Do you think you have any side effects so far from boxing?
Thank
as
God,
far as mentally?
no.
Feeling any type of, like, loss of memory?
I know a lot of people do.
Okay.
I know a lot of people that do.
Because I know football players, they get, like, CTE.
Yeah, that's just real.
From getting hit. So I didn't know if there was, like, a thing that boxers normally get.
Yeah, Pops taught me defense before he taught me how to punch. So
Good job, Pop.
Yeah. So that was the big thing on it. Because if you don't got no defense, that could most definitely happen.
When you're doing your fights, what's your kind of diet and your training plan that you're doing? Do you get, like, hey, like, say somebody says we're going to fight, your next fight is coming up. How soon is it? Is it, like, in a couple months? Like, do you just book them right away? Or do you have to sit, like, literally plan and kind of, like, train yourself?
After a fight, I know a good range where I'm going to fight. Like, right now, I know I'm going to fight, like, in July.
Okay.
So I'm always going to be ready and prepared. My diet, chicken breast, salmon, so rarely sometimes steak with white rice. It's repetitive over and over. Eggs with spinach and mushroom. Sometimes a little English muffin. Gotta lose a lot of weight for boxing.
Do you? What's your, like,
I fight at 130.
Is that a lightweight?
Yeah, it's super featherweight. Featherweight. It's either super featherweight or junior lightweight. They got two names.
Oh, they call it featherweight because it's light? You're light, like
I guess, yeah.
Light as a feather?
I go all the way up to like 150, sometimes 155. One time I've been higher. So
How much you weigh now?
Right now, I dropped to 150.
Okay.
So, but by the time I fight, I got to be at 130.
Wow.
So that hot yoga does help a lot with my weight loss.
And then how long are you training for? So now, say you're fighting in July. Are you in the gym every day?
I'm already in the gym.
Every day? Is it you doing 2 a days? Like what? How does your training sparring schedule?
Sometimes 3 days. I wake up in the morning. It's boxing. I always start off the day with boxing, and then I get a run in the middle of the day, and then at night I do hot yoga. Track days. I'll wake up in the morning. I'll do track. And I'll probably try to fit yoga in the middle of the day because I always run at night. I always train boxing at night when I got track in the morning. Yeah, we always got a set schedule. Always know what I'm going to do.
You're just literally like this is your life.
This is what I live. This is what I do.
This is why you're here. And this is why you're Vegas, right?
I got no choice but to make it or not.
Right.
So we got to make it happen.
I know you had some like tragic things happen with you with your mom getting shot in your hometown. Yeah. Can you tell me what happened with that?
Well, I was 12 years old on my way to my mom's house, and on there I calling her, making sure that she's home for when I get dropped off, and she's not answering. So I call my sister, and she's all crying, telling me, "Oh, mom's shot." So right there, I'm like, "Whoa, what happened?" I'm tripping. Put up to hospital, and yeah, man. Sure enough, she didn't make it. After that, man, I was dying, and Pops was telling me, "You know what? There's a tournament coming up. It's good. Take it off, rest, get your mind collected." I was like, "Nah." I got to keep this going. I got to keep on fighting my mom's name. So I went to that tournament. It was only like a month after my mom passed. So that's what helped me deal with it, boxing, family, and prayers. And that's what helped me deal with it. And to this day, when I fight, I come out with my mom's shirt.
What do you think, like, was the hardest part about grieving? Because that's a really big loss. And that's a really big way to lose her, you know?
Just waking up every day and that. I mean, that's somebody that's part of your everyday basis, your everyday routine. And just waking up every day was part of it, not knowing that she's not there, because you get reminded of it.
Every time you wake up.
Every time when I was a kid, thinking of calling her, oh, damn. It was just my sister and brothers, because they're twins. That she had me and the twins. And so being around them was just like, I feel like I had to be strong for them.
Right.
I mean, even though I was the youngest one, I feel like I took the burden. I'm going to take care of them now. Like, I always want to take care of my moms, because moms are struggling. Man, I had to grow fast. So I was like, it's time to get to work. Since then, it's time to get to work. That's just what was all on my mind. You
said that boxing was like a really big therapeutic thing for you, right?
Big time.
Like your outlet.
That's where I was lost. I'm in my own world. I felt comfortable. And when I box, I feel like I'm doing what I want just because I'm so fluent with it.
And you also have like a different style of boxing, I feel like, because when I was watching, you were just like wailing on this guy. It was like a cross between fighting and boxing, I felt like. So is that your style, or?
I say a great fighter has gears. You got to shift gears. So what happened was, I'm going to run you through that whole fight. The first 3 rounds, I was filling him out, boxing, jabbing, moving around him, seeing what he does good, see what he doesn't do good. And then come to the 4th, 5th, and 6th round, I already seen what I had out of him. So it was time to take over, because he didn't have nothing for me. And so that's exactly what I did. And I dropped him. And once I dropped him, he was hurt. He was shaking. He couldn't stand right. He was moving. So I was like, I just got to touch him and he's out of here. So that's why you see me go all ballistic and go crazy. And so that's why you saw that side of me. A great fighter always got scared. You'll see a different side of him in different situations.
Okay. So before you get into the ring, I know you said you wear your mom's shirt. Are you praying? Are you like saying a prayer in the back room or with your coaches, or?
Yeah. Now it's more of a shout out to my cut man, Capetillo. He helped me make it more of a family thing. All of us in the back, we all come together and pray now. Before it was just me.
Okay.
Before he was around. But he's really, I wouldn't say religious, but we believe in God and all that. He does it with me, and he brought the rest of the people a part of it. So now we all do it together. But I used to always do it before and after in the ring. Before I even celebrated or anything, I try to get on my knees and pray before I even acknowledge myself or anything else.
I hear a lot of athletes tell me, like this, I smell blood when I get in there.
Yeah.
Because, I'm like, how do you just get in and fuck this person up? Like MMA fighters, boxers, like how do you just get in and just start fucking people up? Like, do you feel bad? Like, you know what I mean? Their family's watching, like some kids is watching sometimes, like, but it's like, that's your paycheck.
Yeah, I look at him and I say, he's trying to take food off my table. He's trying to make sure me and my family don't eat.
Right.
So that's just how I gotta look at it. And that's why, like, at the weigh-ins, I don't even shake the fighter's hand. A lot of people look at me at first was like tripping, like, hey man, that's not cool. But I was like, hey man, right now he's my enemy. If I shake his hand, I don't even mean that.
Right.
So it's not even
I'm
genuine.
not a fake person.
So why would I do it? Yeah. I'm 100. You're gonna get what you see. So I don't even shake their hand.
Yeah, right? That's what I'm saying.
I'm tripping. 100%.
And then after, do you guys,
you're
cool, right?
Sportsmanship to the fullest.
Let's go get a drink. Let's hang out.
Yeah,
sorry I broke your nose.
Yeah, sorry. All that.
So is there a competitor that you think that you might have to get more prepared for? Before you get into the ring, like
there's just world champions, just that word by itself.
World
champion,
champion,
people that are champions right now, and
you would fight a world champion as a
pro.
Pro.
That's what I'm looking for right now.
Okay.
Later on this year, I should get my title shot. See, right now, I'll be down for it to be my next fight, but the thing is, it don't exactly work like that. You gotta get your way up there. You're ranked up there, and I'm already up there, so it's their decision. But what I got to do is put their backs against the wall where they don't have a choice but to fight me. So that's the angle I'm looking at. And so I'm going to fight July. Probably some guy named Andrew Concio that was a former world champion but lost his title. And after I beat him, then I'll fight for the title that he lost. The guy that got that guy, Andrew Concio's title, his name is Roger Gutierrez. So after I beat Andrew Concio, I would love to fight for the title and get him in the ring.
Nice.
But like I said, I'm working the angle. That's the best way to get it. is to beat him first, because it was his world title and he lost it.
We're tactical with it.
Yeah.
We know what we're
everything's a
coming
strategy. Everything's a strategy.
You're about to be 21. Just crazy, because at 20, I was a hot mess, okay? So it's so crazy that you're so young and so successful already. So I want you to, like, really understand that, because I know probably people tell you that all the time.
Yeah.
Hey, like, I wish, you know, I was 20 again or whatever. But, like, you really have to take advantage of this next decade of, like, you putting yourself on the map, because you've already done a lot. But in 10 years, like, where do you want to see yourself?
Shit. 10 years, I'm looking at already being fully loaded. Retiring. I want to have the option to retire or not.
Okay.
You know, make sure, like, I put myself in a great position. My pops did. I'm signed with Jay Prince, the guy that was Floyd Mayweather's manager. And he set him up beautiful. You see how Floyd's living right now. So I got the right people around me to make sure that happens.
Okay.
So
and when you're done, like you said, you want to retire. Do you want to open up your own boxing gym or help kids, or like what's your next step with as far as like staying in the community? Because boxing is going to be your life regardless if you're fighting or not, right?
Yeah, for sure. I haven't really figured out how exactly I'm gonna stay in boxing, but for sure I'm gonna have my own gym and all that. I always go back to Stockton and visit the gyms. Like my own, I got a gym in Stockton right now. The first thing I did when I landed in Cali was go to the gym and check out the youth and help them out, hit meds with them, making sure, teach them, give them tips, anything I can do, just to see them come up. But right after my boxing career, I looked to be an actor.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Keep on making money, you know.
Have you acted in anything yet?
I haven't, because right now my main goal is boxing.
Right.
I can't be an actor if I don't get this right. So this is the first to open up the doors to that.
Okay, nice. That's cool. So what do you think is your best advice for fighters, young, old, whatever?
Study tape. Look at tape. Make sure you live this, because this is not to be played with. This is me 24/7, 365. This is what I live. This is what I do. So watch boxing. Learn from it. Always learn. Don't be stubborn. Don't be hard-headed. You got to be the totally opposite of that if you want to be good, because you always got more to learn no matter how good you are. To this day, like right now, like people tell me, like you said, oh, you're successful. I look at that. I ain't done a damn thing yet. I ain't done nothing.
Well, that's what fucking people that have that grind in them do, because like we're all the hardest on ourselves, because we're like, oh no, the bigger picture is like you're not even ready for that.
You got to
right?
be your biggest critic.
Exactly.
By far. So
but you have to remember to celebrate your small accomplishments. If you look back at your fucking card and you're like, damn, I did 104 fucking amateurs, and you know, how many pro fights have you done so far?
20.
So the fact that you haven't lost once yet, like, and how many knockouts did we have in that?
7
knockouts. Okay. So I mean, you have to just feel great, right?
Yeah, I'm blessed. I always say I'm blessed and grateful, but I need more. You know, shout out to my city, man. My city's big. I love my city.
Yeah, they supporting the shit out of you.
I mean, I fought in Stockton Arena. Over 10,000 people came out. I sold the arena out.
Wow.
Crazy. I mean, they had pictures of my mom in the crowd, so it just shows how much they're down for me. You know what I mean? And how much I'm down for them. So it just goes both ways. Shout out to Lovodi, my sponsor, big time sponsor right there. Always showing love.
And when you said your cut guy, is this the guy that puts Vaseline on you?
Vaseline.
We were just talking about this.
If it's swollen, he makes sure it goes down.
How does the Vaseline, like, what in it? It just stops the bleeding? Or?
No. So the Vaseline is to prevent that. So like, say if my dry skin, if I get hit, I could get cut and more, right. But if I got Vaseline, it could more slide off. And
what do they put on after when you're cut? What are they putting on there? Is that Vaseline too?
Oh, I don't know. You gotta. I don't know nothing about
you don't
that.
know what they're putting on you? Every time, you know, when you go in the corner and they're like,
well, I haven't been cut yet, so
what do you mean?
I haven't been cut yet.
You've never been cut on your face?
I gotta stay pretty. I don't get hit. You watch my fights, I don't get touched like that.
Gabe, you've never been cut on your face.
Thank God.
In your whole time, since you were 7 till now. Damn, that's a trophy. Whoever.
I told you, Pops taught me defense.
Someone's trying to get to your pretty face.
Yeah. Ain't gonna happen.
I gotta use this as long as I can. Okay. I can't be having no scars.
Pretty face privilege.
Right. I need the privilege for as long as I can. Okay. I appreciate you being here. We're gonna look for your upcoming fights in. You said July, right?
July.
Is that gonna be in Vegas?
The chances are good that'll be in Vegas.
Okay.
But I'll for sure be on ESPN again.
Until next time, guys. Peace.
Shit, I came out the gutter. Me, my mother, and my brother. The stove in the kitchen was heat for the winter. Refrigerator was the cold in the summer. 1900 block of Mapes Ave. Getting money, shit is straight cash. Back then it was the good life. Nowadays you need a gang pass. If you ain't legit, then you can't pass. Them young boys playing gang tag.